One thing the marketers obsess about is the big question: why do people do the things that they do? Because if you can work that out, I mean, you can work out, what is causing people to buy a product or not buy a product, or when they buy a product, then you can manipulate it, right? The marketing strategies have to be based on the marketer's understanding of how customers make their decisions. It can't just be a mystery. You have to work out your customer and how they're making their decisions, why they're making their decisions, when they're making their decisions, in order to sell the product effectively. And we call these the factors influencing customer choice. What are the things that are influencing? What are the things that have an effect on how customers are making their decisions? Now, it then becomes a little bit more complicated because the syllabus steps in, and we've got four factors influencing customer choice. We have psychological factors, sociocultural factors, economic factors, and government factors. I guess they had to pick things and names for them. And I'm sure, if you go and do marketing in uni, you'll probably have even more factors influencing customer choice. But really, you just need to nail down exactly what these things mean. So the psychological factors, I've got, on the left-hand side there, I've got some pictures of some models, and I've got there was an ad, I think it was Supre, and it's got girls in leggings and things like that, and they're all dancers because psychologically, if you look at the personalities and the motivations and the psychological idea that these girls have is that, we're all really hot dancers and things like that. That's what's really affecting their choices. So that's why they make the products that they do. They're tailoring their message, their marketing message, and the products themselves, because they're part of the marketing, they're tailoring those to those psychological factors, to those personalities, to those motivations. Sociocultural things. I've got a thing there of the We Love Lamb, you got Australia and all that sort of stuff. And I've got a photo there of Mount Druitt Station, which is taken at Mount Druitt Station for real. The cultural background and the socioeconomic status come together to be sociocultural. So the cultural background of people is going to affect their choices. Right? That's why you have a lot of ads, focusing on patriotism and things like that, because people have those feelings. It does affect their choices. That's why things like, it's made in Australia and all that sort of stuff. Do people really think that things that are made in Australia are necessarily going to be the best quality in the world? No, they don't even really think about it. They just go, yeah, well, I'm Australian and that's Australian, so I'm going to go for it. The socioeconomic status, your income, your job, that's going to affect how you make your choices. The economic factors are not things like the price of the product, right? It's more based on customers' feelings about the economy. So looking at the unemployment rate, looking at interest rates, mainly the unemployment rate, because people have terrible understanding of interest rates, but mainly the unemployment rate, people's feelings about the economy really do have an effect on how they make their choices. Whether they're going to be, more nervous or less nervous, what they're going to think about the economy is going to affect how and when they make their decisions. Are they going to buy now? Should we make ads that, recognize that people are worried, right? Then you've got government factors, which are not like banning products, right? That is obviously going to have an effect on customer choice by just removing their choice, right? But laws and policies the government has will affect how customers use the product, right? So if you look at that, the plain packaging with the gangrene on it, that is a policy that's not necessarily banning cigarettes, right? Although, the government could quite easily do it. It's causing people to think differently about the product. So the benefit that, people get from that product is going to be less, and they got studies that show that the joy, the tastes, the sensation that people get out of cigarettes out of plain packaging is not as good as those out of really fancy, nice packaging. So that is going to have an effect on how people enjoy the product. So that is going to have an effect on whether they buy it or not, and how frequently they buy it, and all that. So these are all the things that will affect customer choice, will influence customer choice. And they're just things that you need to memorize. You need to memorize that syllabus. You can get 50 just memorizing the syllabus, I guarantee it.